Hello, I'm Brandon Williams, host of Madison Noteworthy, and today we have a season feature episode highlighting Dr. Nestor Rodriguez, a local entrepreneur and co-owner of Carbon World Health here in Madison, Wisconsin. We'll share his remarkable story covering his challenges and achievements that have propelled him to entrepreneurial success. As many of you know, starting and owning a business is difficult. In fact, in 2015, Forbes reported that over 90% of startup businesses fail. For Dr. Nestor Rodriguez, these challenges are something that he knows all too well. His story is one of overcoming adversity and using life's lessons to become a highly renowned emergency cosmetic physician turned entrepreneur. In 1980, Nestor Rodriguez was born in El Salvador. He lived a relatively normal life with his grandparents while his mother moved to Los Angeles for work. Nestor's grandfather was a successful businessman in El Salvador and was able to provide Nestor and his family a stable home. In 1985, a civil war in El Salvador began, forcing Nestor out of the comforts of his home to live with his mother in South Central Los Angeles. What was your first just perspective of the neighborhood, of where you live now?
So to me, it was crazy because leading up to that, there was also the Civil War in El Salvador. So I went from, it was a beautiful place. We were out in the streets. We were kids that played soccer all throughout the evening hours to you had a curfew at 5 p.m. because you started getting tanks coming down the streets.
Life in LA was difficult. His family struggled financially and he was surrounded by gangs and violence. In 1992, the Rodney King riots broke out in South Central LA. Fire and carnage consumed Nestor's neighborhood and racial tensions disrupted the country. While Nestor left El Salvador to escape civil war, he was now in the middle of a race war.
It brought in racial tension, it brought in finances, it brought in unstability of a home place.
Nestor's mother worked 2 jobs to support the household and sent Nestor to a private Jesuit school where he could focus on his education. Nestor excelled in school. He was very gifted academically and surrounded by positive mentors. He also discovered his passion and talent in athletics by playing soccer. Due to Nestor's circumstances, he was pressured to succumb to violence and crime while being condemned for excelling in his private education.
There's gangs, and the gangs were tied with race and with neighborhoods. And like I always tell people now, was I a hardcore gangbanger? No. And people kept me away from that. Right. But living in those neighborhoods, you're associated to them, you're fighting for them, one way or the other. It's just to what degree are you involved in that life.
As the pressure to enter this unfavorable lifestyle was at its worst, 2 people entered Nestor's life that would have a considerable and positive impact. A teacher by the name of Mr. Chappelle and his sister Kim.
What he wanted to do or created was he went down to as low as 4th grade and picked kids that he thought just needed guidance or that he saw potential in.
Mr. Chappelle saw great potential in Nestor. He mentored him and invited him to travel and compete academically. This was the first time that Nestor realized his intelligence and potential. As he became acclimated with Mr. Chappelle and his new academic team, his sister Kim was born severely premature. Over the next several years, Nestor was left to care for his sister while his mother worked.
She was born several weeks premature. She was in an incubator, and I was intrigued. At this point, it was my little sister, and how can I help her? I remember seeing my mom cry a lot. I just didn't understand. We didn't have the money to go see the big doctors, and we just kind of did what we did and prayed every time that she would make it.
During his early teens, when most kids are impacted by gang recruitment, Nestor was at home caring for his sister. Kim saved Nestor from a potentially harmful and unstable future. And in caring for his sister, Nestor developed a passion for medicine. While tending to Kim, Nestor continued to grow intellectually with Mr. Chappelle as his mentor. He became the captain of the academic team and advanced tremendously in his education. Nestor was accepted into Loyola High School, one of the most prestigious high schools in the country. Though Nestor was proud of his achievements, he didn't feel accepted among his privileged classmates. But he was motivated and continued to excel both in the classroom and on the soccer field. You get accepted into a prestigious high school, everything's going good, but tragedy starts to strike again. Tell me what happened.
Junior year of high school, I was crossing the street to actually get some lunch after soccer practice, and I got run over by a car. My dreams of playing soccer were done. Not to mention then, can we afford the surgery?
The accident left Nestor immobile, breaking multiple bones and leaving him in a body cast for 6 months. Everything that Nestor had been working towards seemed hindered. He felt that he now had something to prove, and so he did. Nestor recovered physically and went right back to dominating in every facet of his life. He received multiple scholarship offers and eventually chose Yale University, where he played as a walk-on for the Bulldog soccer team. Nestor was back on track and proud to be the first person in his family to go to college. So Nestor packed up his belongings and moved across the country to Connecticut.
Yale was a beautiful place, it's castles. And to be honest with you, the first place that actually I was proud of, and I can tell people, hey, look what I accomplished. And the best thing about Yale was once they took you in, they started getting in your head, like, you invest in people, not in things. Doesn't matter where you come from. If you give them the right opportunity, give them the right tools, they're gonna succeed.
In 2002, Nestor graduated from Yale with honors and a degree in molecular and cellular developmental biology, one of the toughest degrees to obtain from Yale while playing soccer all 4 years. He then accepted a scholarship to the University of Wisconsin-Madison Medical School. Here he developed a passion for cosmetics and emergency medicine. Nestor graduated in 2007 and remained in Madison for his residency. It didn't take him long to become an assistant program doctor for the university. He was considered one of the top doctors in Wisconsin and was awarded the National Educator of the Year in 2014.
I wanted to be a doctor that can do anything, anywhere. And growing up in the inner city, the docs are emergency medicine. You only use them when you're hurt, when you need an emergency, and they have a way of making you feel comfortable and showing you that they care regardless of where you're from. So ultimately, that's the path I took.
At this point in Nestor's life, he was determined and focused on his career while struggling in finding a good work-life balance. At work one day, Nestor received a text message from his fiancée of 6 years. She was leaving him. Nestor was shocked. He experienced a state of depression, which caused him to lose his position at the university. Nestor felt like he had hit rock bottom.
Within that one text, my life got flipped over, upside down, basically. The thing that a lot of people don't talk about, especially minorities, is I went into depression. And so it's interesting, a lot of people, they're like, snap out of it. They're like, it's a girl, it's a job. But it's not that, it's the identity that one has to it. And it's also the shame that you feel that you let everyone down.
Nestor felt as though he had nowhere to go but up. So he took a risk and bet on himself. He had an idea and an itch for entrepreneurship and was ready to get started. The next 2 years, Nestor took extra business courses and educated himself in cosmetology, weight loss, and fitness. During this time, Nestor met Russell Byer and Ashley Greer, who are experts in fitness, cosmetics, and medicine. With their shared interests, this team of 3 became very close. They developed a family-like relationship and built a strong trust for each other.
So I had a vision of what I wanted to do. One was help people, help them get fitter, help them get healthier, and help them believe in themselves. So there's no one's to say, do I change a little appearance here? Do I get fitter? Do I look a certain way? I just wanted to help people and started surrounding myself around people that believe that same way and became Carbon World Health as a concept.
We became a family. We inspired each other, we pushed each other. We knew to build a successful business that we had to work together and we had to believe in what we wanted.
To see true passion for people is something that I've always had myself, and for Nestor to kind of mentor my professional pathway has been a big help for me.
In June of 2016, this talented trio launched Carbon World Health, a medical spa and fitness center that is bringing a new age approach to health, wellness, beauty, and fitness. So I know we've talked a lot about investing in people, and that's something that's very important to you. Talk a little bit about them.
At the end of the day, we have the same vision for the same reasons. Investing in them. Doesn't matter what people thought of them before. I put them up against anyone, any group in business, and I'd say, hey, we'll succeed. You can give me the best student, I can teach them, but it's those people that have the drive, don't have the opportunity. You guide them, those are the diamonds. They're going to take you to heights you've never seen before, and that's the team I think I've created.
For Nestor, the future is looking bright. What we can take from his story is that no matter the environment or circumstance, we can take life experiences, learn from them, and apply them to achieve success. To learn more about Carbon World Health, visit carbonworldhealth.com. We hope you enjoyed this feature episode. We invite you to check us out at madisonNoteworthy.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel for new video releases, and to watch our upcoming season. For Madison Noteworthy, I'm Brandon Williams.